A number of years ago, my husband and I planned a spontaneous vacation and a mock disaster to see how our kids were going to do what we've been teaching them in our family home meeting. So he was a bus driver, not a bus driver, a semi truck driver at the time. And he went and delivered in Blackfoot. The plan was he was going to call, and I would pretend that he was saying there's an emergency. So I told the kids, Papa just called, said there's an emergency. I don't know what it is. He told us to get our emergency supplies and fuel up the van and get down to Blackfoot to pick him up, and then we'll find out what's going on. It was interesting. My oldest daughter turned out to be the leader. She knew exactly what everybody was responsible for getting, and she directed. You do this, get those kits. I'm going to get the cash, you're going to get the medication. She would just direct what needed to be done. My second daughter was the packer. She was told what to do, and she went and did everything, like 40 pairs of underwear and an insane amount of water bottles. I don't know how she got everything crammed in the van, but she just packed everything. Dorsey was the emotional trauma, just, I don't want to stop playing in the sprinkler. And, just the uncertainty of what was going on. She was not loving life. Duncan was the disbeliever. He'd go about dragging his feet, going, this better be a simulation. Devery was just happy to go for a ride, and Dirk and Daphne were just babies. So the interesting part was my response. Now, mind you, I planned this whole thing, and I knew full well that it was a mock disaster. After I played my role, I didn't realize how I would respond. And I would panic. I would just like, what do I do? What do I do? And Danae would tell me what to do, and I'd go do that. And then I'd panic again, like there was no blood flow in the brain. And even though I knew it was fake, it was embarrassing. Not everybody is going to have that panic response, but everybody does have the natural response of fear in an unfamiliar situation. And the only way to combat that is through knowledge, getting the knowledge and know what to do in those emergencies, getting prepared. So putting your 72-hour kit together and then having practice sessions, getting the experience so that when the real thing happens, obviously I need more practice sessions because I will not fare well during a real emergency. Another reason for getting your 72-hour kit together, not only the fear factor, but there's also the time factor. Say where the semi truck on the highway is carrying hazardous material and it gets in a wreck and tips over and spills. We have to immediately get into a room, close off all the airways, and stay put until the authorities give us the all clear. And if we don't have our supplies with us, we're just going to wish we did. What was I going to say? Other disasters like a mudslide or a landslide, wildfires, maybe even a home fire. I don't know if they recommend grabbing your 72-hour kit but you definitely have to evacuate the home. If it's on the way out, that might be an option. Any type of community evacuation. Maybe Godzilla or aliens are coming. I don't know. But where we have to evacuate immediately, you don't have time to go around and gather up the supplies you might need for that particular scenario. If you don't have to evacuate, but you have a disaster at the home, like an earthquake, if you have a pack that's all together, you only have to dig through the rubble to find one thing rather than 100 different items somewhere in all the debris. Electrical failure, same thing. If you don't have the power that you need and you have it all in your kit, you can just do with that. So that's awesome. Why a 72? What's with the number 72? The experts say that it takes about 72 hours for the emergency forces to mobilize to get to where the emergency is to render assistance. And so it's a personal responsibility that we need to take care of ourselves in that initial time frame until we can get some help. In the case of a real disaster or a widespread disaster, it's going to be closer to 2 weeks or more. So it's important. What are we putting in our kit? Well, basically, you're putting your entire home in a pack. You're putting in your kitchen sink, your stove, your oven, stove and oven, same thing, your pantry, your medicine chest, your bathroom, your bedroom, your clothes closet, your garage, your home. You just got to put it all into a pack that you can carry. Because if you put it in a container that's too big for you to carry, you're going to not be able to transport those supplies. Even if you have a car, chances are that you will not be able to use the car, and it's almost guaranteed you won't be able to get fuel to go very far with the car. When you're storing things in your kit, it's always a good idea to put it in zip-like type bags or something to waterproof it against spills or the weather. And when you store it, to put it next to an exit, whether that's your clothes closet, not your coat closet on the way out the door, or a mudroom or the garage. Take into account the water that doesn't do well in high temperatures. A few helpful hints. If you keep a list of the contents that are in there and where they're located in the kit, it will help you in your accumulation process as well as locating things when you need it. Also keep a list of dates when things need to be rotated or replaced, and either put it on the calendar or attach it to an event that's already happening, such as General Conference every 6 months, or the first of the year and Independence Day. So every 6 months you can do those things. In future videos, we'll talk about what to put in the kit, but before that, we want to talk about the priorities. What is the highest priority and where we want to put our energy. Until then, we'll say goodbye.